Good evening. My name is Mike, and welcome to Christian Fellowship. Today, February 10th, 2020, and it's 9:12 at night. And normally, would like to get these done in the morning, but I've got to do this tonight because my computer did a Microsoft update, and um, it was, I guess, a big one. It took a long time. It took almost a whole day. I don't know what they changed or added or whatnot. You never know, and it's not sure we'll ever, it's their equipment and they can pretty much do what they want. So every time you go on, your system automatically, I'm through a hotspot, so when I have the hotspot, it automatically downloads whatever updates are there, and then it loads them into my system, and then my system loads them into the computer. So that's the way it goes. Okay, today, good day. I rested a lot today. Yeah, my wife and I have been resting a lot. The Lord has kind of slowed me down to like just a relaxed state. Everything is under His control, so really, there's nothing for us to worry about. And as I was watching some videos tonight, the world is in just one crazy state. You've got to just look at Jesus. Don't look at the world. Just have faith that He's in control and He knows what's going to go on. And as long as you're sitting there looking at Him and listening to Him, your life is safe. That comes right out of the Bible story, Martha and Mary. Mary sat at the feet of Jesus and just listened to Him. Martha ran around, tried to serve everybody. And that's so true of today. I mean, you think about your life. I mean, a lot of these church groups they got all these functions going on. They figure, we got to do this because the Lord wants us to do this and blah, blah, blah. And really, a lot of times, the Lord doesn't want you doing any of it. He'd rather you just sit like Mary sat and just waited on Him, in His time, in His way, in His will. Because when we do that, then we are actually truly showing Him that we have faith and trust and believe in Him. And it was in one of the inspirations I gave the other day was he said, say, help me, Jesus, whenever you get into a situation during the day. And he said, even if you have to say it 1,000 times. Now, if you say that 1,000 times, you're evoking the power of Jesus 1,000 times in your life. And during that, when you say, help me, Jesus, He comes to help. Sometimes the situation doesn't change, but He's right there, looking over you, making sure that you're safe. And this is what people have such a hard time understanding. They think that, I don't know, I think they think that everything in their life must go smooth. And as long as it's going smooth, everything is, God's approving of it all, and everything's wonderful, and God loves you. But when the bad things come into their life, the first thing people do, most always, is turn to Jesus and say, well, why are you doing this? Why did you put that in my life? Not understanding that when those trials and tribulations come into our life, why don't we look for the blessings in that trial and tribulation? If you believe that God doesn't punish, that's for later. When time stops and the judgment comes, that will be the time for punishment. Right now, He allows those things to happen in our lives, or creates them to happen in our lives, to help us learn and to grow spiritually And without those conditions, we couldn't grow spiritually. But we need those trials and tribulations to grow in grace in Him. Because we're more reliant on Him when those circumstances are there. Some people, I've read a book, I think it was God Calling. He said some people, they pray for troubles in their life because they understand the benefit of those troubles. Trials and tribulations bring wisdom into a Christian's life. And the Bible tells us that above all things, if you pray for anything, pray for wisdom. Really important. Okay, let me do a little inspiration for us. And I'm going to unplug this stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave the hotspot off right now because I'll record this and then I'll get it ready. I'll put the hotspot on and I'll go up on the internet and load it onto Wix website. And then I also set up Facebook last night, so I'll put it on Facebook and YouTube. And then I'm working on putting it back on Twitter, okay, because I have an account on Twitter too, which I haven't used in a long time. Okay, February 10th. And that could be any year, but this inspiration comes on February 10th. So he begins by saying, trust me enough to spend ample time with me, pushing back the demands of the day. Trust me enough to spend ample time with me, pushing back the demands of the day. And our days are filled with demands. You start really looking at your day, starting maybe tomorrow, the rest of tonight. Just look at the demands that the world places on us. And we go right along. Okay, well, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, and I got to do that. And he says, push all those things back and spend time with me. Can you do that? Hey, I can do it a little better because I'm retired now. But if I had a daily job I had to go to, which I look at this as my daily job, is following him. But when I was working, you sleep for 8 hours, you go to a job for 8 hours, you come home, and if you got any strength left, you try to spend 8 hours with the wife and kids. Or you just your wife, or just yourself. Okay. And you try to forget the crazy stuff you saw at work, or the hard day you had, blah, 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 blah. So it's all demands. And during those times, we rarely think of Jesus. Unless something comes up that we know we can't handle, and then we call on Jesus. Where he'd rather us call on him all the time. In the good situations and in the bad. Thanking him for the good, thanking him for the bad. Thanking him for everything, because everything comes from him. Always has, always will. Refuse to feel guilty about something that is so pleasing to me, the King of the universe. So people, they take time out of their life. Like a lot of people, I know people that they go to church on Sunday. They don't want to go to church on Sunday. That's an imposition. They'd rather be out playing golf. But because to please their wife, they say, okay, I'll take you and the kids to church. They don't want to go. Now, who knows they don't want to go? That's right. Jesus knows they don't want to go. He would much prefer that they go there willingly. Because when you then it becomes an obligation. And the Lord does not want an obligation placed upon his altar. That's no good for him in his eyes. None. And it wouldn't be in your eyes either. If somebody just did something for you because you wanted to do it, we would all prefer that people do stuff for us And it goes along, do unto others as you have done unto you. It's that book, the Bible. I ignored it for 54 years. Figure 20, 30, 40, 50, at least 30 or 40 years. And then the Lord, in His grace and mercy, changed my whole life. So, okay. Because, now it's just the Lord, because I am omnipotent, I am able to bend time and events in your favor. Wow. Because He's omnipotent. He's there all the time. Right with us. So when that help comes and we don't even know what's going to happen, He knows. He can make things happen. I was talking to my friend in Providence, and I was telling him about, I used to work like it was a group home, and I was riding one of the clients down a road down towards Westerly, and there was a deer come across the front of the car. We were going about 40. That was the speed limit. And she felt it too, because I saw the deer out of my peripheral vision on the right. The deer was going to be right in front of the car. I couldn't react because it was so fast. I couldn't get my foot off the gas and put on the brakes because there would have been no time. There was no reaction time left. And then I remember looking left and seeing the deer's tail going off into the woods. And I thought about it because she even said right away, she said, wow, what happened? She felt something happen. She didn't know what happened. And neither did I until I started thinking about it. And I said, wow. We passed right through that deer. Didn't kill the deer, didn't kill us. And when a car hits a deer, believe me, I've seen the damage. You wouldn't think there could be that much damage, but the really is. And I will always look at that as, now I can't prove that to anybody. I can't, because I was there and this girl was there. And that was, we experienced it. We didn't know what happened. After I thought about it, I said, oh, wow, Jesus, thank you. Because there was no way that deer made it past the car. Couldn't. So, you see, it goes along with He's able to bend time and events in your favor. There's been other stories that people tell of things that happened to them, like they would never have, a car accident they would have been in, but they went right through whatever was there. And in Jesus' world, you can go between that spiritual realm into the physical realm and back. That's why you never know who you're talking to. You never know who's sitting on that street corner, who that beggar is, who that person is. You don't know. Could be the Lord Himself. Okay. You will find that you can accomplish more in less time after you have given yourself to me in rich communion. So that's why He wants us to give ourselves to Him, because once we spend time with Him and stay in His presence, forgetting, saying, okay, well, don't worry, I'm over here with Jesus. That's more important than going back and looking at the world. When you're looking at the world and living in the world, you can damage your soul. When you're living with Jesus, when you're talking to Jesus and you're spending your time with Him, you can't damage your soul. No way. For He is heaven. He is the way, the truth, and the life. As the Bible tells us. Okay, also, as you align yourself with my perspective, You can sort out what is important and what is not. That's a good thing too, because you can do that. But you've got to discipline yourself. I have to do it. You have to do it. Every Christian following Jesus has to do it. Just saying you believe in him is one thing. That's a good thing. But there's so much more beyond that. The people like, I don't know. And I don't mean running around doing things. I mean just spending your time with him, letting him control you. We humans don't go along with that too well. Don't fall into the trap. These phones. Don't fall into the trap of being constantly on the go. My sister, God bless her, she's constantly on, both of them, constantly on the go. I have a tendency. I mean, I don't know if that was how did we raise up that way. I don't know, but we, constantly. She's got to be go, 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 go. You know, she gets tired that way. And here he is saying, don't fall into the trap of being constantly on the go. Many, many things people do in my name have no value in my kingdom. Wow, that's a big one. Because you look at all the things that a lot of churches do, they get projects going on, and they're offering it to God. However, he's saying many, many things people do in my name have no value in my kingdom. Think about it. To avoid doing meaningless works, stay in continual communication with me. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. And Bible support for this is from Luke 19, verse 41 through 42, Hebrews 1, verses 1 through 2, and Psalm 32, verse 8. You can go to those particular ones in the Bible and read them. Sit quietly with the Lord and just read them. It's, I don't know, it's a difficult journey. Yet, there's a lot of joys along the way. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of hardships to overcome. But he's already overcome the world, so when he's with you, you really have no worries. No matter what happens, he's with you. And that's the most important thing. That's why to get that of constant communion with him, that's what he wants us to practice and achieve. And we can achieve it. He's created us with the ability to do that. Okay. But like anything you would do in this flesh world, you have to practice to do it well. So to spend time with Jesus and talk to him and have a communion with him all day, all night. You may do nothing. And you'll think, because your body's, I got to be doing stuff. And really you don't. Not in his eyes. Because if he wants you to do that, believe me, that stuff will come into your life and you will do it. But you don't do it and get hung up in it. So many things to talk about as Christians. And in these days and times, I think it's so important. That's why I wanted to set this up as a Christian fellowship. Because fellowship, I'm at Walmart sometimes, somebody comes up and sees a shirt, and, oh, I love your shirt, and then we end up talking about Jesus a little bit. Sometimes more than others. I get to give them maybe a card out to them, and then maybe they'll come to the site. I only do each day. Like this one will be late, so if somebody went in this morning, they'll see yesterday's. And then in about 10 minutes, I'll have this one up there. So it's 9:32. So, a lot of people won't come. But tomorrow morning, this won't, unless I do another one, and then I'll put that one up. And then they can email me. I can put them on the list. Or if they want to email me and ask questions, or, I can send emails back to them, whatever. Praise God. All right. Peace, love, and joy to you from me, and peace, love, and joy I know from Jesus, because he is peace, love, and joy. And he's right there with you, waiting for you to commune with him, and only with him. That's what he wants us to do. That's why he came to earth, to teach people. That's all he did, was commune with his Father. So if it was good for him, definitely good for us. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Hey, okay, I'll be back tomorrow, and maybe I'll get a couple more in tomorrow. I keep saying that, but again, sometimes like I sleep a lot now. I went to, by the time I was messing around with some music, and I looked up, I said, holy cow, 2:30. So I went to bed, and I slept. I had to get up a little, not tomorrow, I got to get up at like 6 o'clock, because the nurse comes to set up my wife's pills, and she comes early in the morning. So I got to be up, let her in. She does her thing, and then I go back to bed. My wife, I don't think is going to go to daycare tomorrow. Her side's getting a little better, but I think she's going to take tomorrow. Okay, what do we got? 22 minutes. Whoa. Okay. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye-bye.